is where my days off. Pretty much orange store, orange store, orange store. Okay. God, I love the smell of lumber. I love the smell of lumber. That'll be that side. This will be the other side. And I have a plan. I will explain to you in just a couple of minutes here. And tonight's my first night in the bed. So I didn't spend last night in the cabin. I just got back from work and was beat. Didn't want to haul everything out here. So be sleeping in here tonight, which is Friday night, and then Saturday night in the bed. But I'm gonna cook dinner in here. So I thought, you know, A, why not put the table in the kitchen so I can cook dinner in the kitchen, and B, I am sick and tired of this table shaking all the time and this heater going on. It drives me insane while I'm in here working. So hopefully this will be a lot more stable location for it. Away from everything else when I'm walking back and forth here and climbing up and down ladders. Should stay a lot more stable over here. So let me move the camera and I'll kind of explain to you why I have to lay these walls out a certain way upstairs. It's all... I have a choice of where I want to do it, but if I do it this way, it'll save me a ton of money. So, when I built the cabin, the original dimensions were all based on the exterior. So it's 20 feet wide by 24 feet long. So obviously, with the 2x6 walls on both sides, that shrunk up some space. So I have 19 feet and maybe 1 inch or 2 inch from this wall to that wall. And so I'm going to frame in. I'll probably end up coming out about 2.5 feet on this side, and I'll probably only come out about 2 feet on that side because I have to suck up. I want to have 15 feet in the middle left over. And the reason why is because I went by a remnant carpet place the other day called Rug Bones here in town, or in Soldotna, and talked to him about buying some carpeting, and I could carpet the whole upstairs area for about $250, which is pretty cheap. But if I can keep this width to 15 feet, then when I buy the padding, it'll be 2 complete rolls. So he said, if you can keep it to 15 feet, dude, you're going to save a ton of money and a ton of hassle on padding. So I'm going to actually pad this floor, put the carpet on top of the padding, and that will run between the 2 knee walls, basically we'll call them. And so I picked up 10-foot 2x4s because I'm 10 foot 1 inch to the edge here. So that'll be my bottom plate and my top plate. And then I picked up 16 of the 2x6 or 2x4 by 8 footers, and that'll be my 16 inches on center here for the knee wall. So I'll match them up with this, and then it'll give me enough to go ahead and split one over here as well. So then I can sheet the whole thing. My plan is I'm going to sheet it all, cut the holes in it for where I want the cupboards to be, and then, but I will shelve it all before I sheet it. So I'll cut the holes where I want the cupboards to be, and then I'll mount some doors on there so that you can just open them and close them. And then I'll probably put some like baskets or something in there. But just a place to put all the clothing, get all that stuff out of the way. And this is, you know, pretty much dead space, right? So this is probably pretty close to 2.5 feet right here. And if, as you can see on my knees, my head's hitting there. So I can't really use this for anything anyway. So it'll just clean up everything inside. Also, I think I'm going to take the bed and turn it with the head towards the window so that when I wake up in the morning on my days off, I'll wake up to the sunshine coming through the window. I kind of like that idea. And it'll make it easier getting in and out of the bed, and I don't have to worry about not having the guardrail up yet, which is coming. So I ran this string line by taking a level from that end and a level on the other end. And then I have to rip this, other 2x4 down. I have to rip the corner off of it because where this meets here, right, if this is my 2x4, it's going to have a square edge here and it's not going to be flush. So I need to trim the corner of that off so that it'll kind of follow the same line up, and I'm going to have to angle every one of these, but I'll measure each one individually when I do that, just to make sure that there's some obviously variance in here, you know, from when I built the roof. First roof, but that's okay. But this is secured down nice and tight. I'm going to get the rest of this framed in, then this one will be done. I'm going to show you a little detail that I picked up while I was watching a video on building a knee wall, because obviously I don't do anything without watching a video, right? and it made a lot of sense to me. So if I bring this up here and then I tie it into right here, I've got a gap that's going back in the wrong direction, and I'll zoom in so you can see that. Right, you see that it's flush all the way up like it's supposed to be, but I've got an angle going back here, and so when I tie that one in here, I'm going to have this gap and a gap back behind where the plywood's going to go. So I did a quick test cut this way, and basically took this piece and beveled it so that it's straight up and down, so that when I tie my wood in on the studs here, what's going to end up happening is it's going to be a straight transition from the end of this to that. So I ran this angle, which is about 40-degree angle, on this other 10-foot 2x4. That's going to go right here. And that's going to give me a perfectly straight transition up to the wood that's going to be on the ceiling. I'm pretty satisfied with how that turned out. Now I just have to screw it in. Okay, let me give you a close-up on the top of this here to give you a better idea of what I was talking about earlier. So this is why I put that bevel on the end here, so that when this comes up, it's a straight transition to that right there. So that if you're going to put, in my case, it's probably going to be wood. Well, I know it's going to be wood. It's not going to be sheetrock. But if you're going to do sheetrock or anything like that, you don't have that gap, which is why I did that. But these screws are really frustrating me right now. Also, I'm going to measure every single one of these because there are variances, obviously, and it's easier just to measure them and get them the way they're supposed to be right off the bat. Just so I'll take a full measurement on each one. There is the first one done. Clean stuff up, wrap some things up right now, get ready to fix dinner. Because I'm cooking in here tonight, but I need to sweep it up and clean it up first because it's a mess. I still have one piece left to add over at the back corner over there, so I have something to nail off onto for the front piece. But all in all, pretty darn a-okay. I like it. I like it a lot. All right, I'll tell you what, this is kind of nice. Pretty awesome having a light in the kitchen. It'll be even better when I get the ceiling in. When I get the ceiling in, I'll have a light here, a light here, and a light here, even though the window's going to be right here, bringing a bunch more light too. So. Little olive oil. Little butter. One of the tricks with cooking with butter is a lot of times butter will burn in your pan. Just make sure you get the olive oil in there first. Coffee for tomorrow. That's cheese for the top of this. These potatoes, all I did was season them up with kosher salt and coarse ground black pepper. Had a couple of red potatoes left, but mostly Those are russets. Cook them covered until they start to soften up and brown, and then I've got some kielbasa here that I sliced up. I'll throw that in there as well. Top it with some cheese and call it dinner.
That must have been a weird situation because, as I said, I fed pigs. Like corn is like one of the cheapest things you can feed.
How we doing, taters? Ah. Dead soldier. Okay, so kielbasa in there. Meat and potatoes for dinner. I am going to eat and enjoy this. Oh. Oh, first cup of coffee of the day. I slept great last night. I slept too long, actually. I was in bed at like 7:30. It's easy to go to bed when it's dark. And no TV and no distractions. So I was in bed at about 7:30, and I think I woke up the first time at about 2 or 2:30. And I said, forget that. That's my normal time for waking up to go to work. And my normal time for going to bed is about 7. So I laid there, closed my eyes, got a little more comfortable on the bed again, woke up at about 5:30. It's the latest I've slept in a long time. I am going to have to go into the trailer to cook up some breakfast, because I've got all the breakfast fixings in there. I figured I'll do bacon and eggs this morning, some sourdough toast, and then as soon as we get enough daylight out, I'll jump back upstairs and start on. Well, I got to make the bed. I haven't had to do that in a while. I usually just throw the comforter over the one in the trailer. But I'll, excuse me, have this coffee here, get woken up, go do breakfast, and then I'll start working on that other knee wall over here. Get that done and kind of get an idea of where I want to put the doors on the wall, so they open up. I'm not going to have doors on every section, probably every other one. You'll be able to get in there and grab what you need. For now, though, I'm going to sit down on the futon and kind of wake up and greet the day. Oh, man, that was a good night's sleep. Okay. Hello. Don't you ruin another screw, Sean. Awesome. Ugh. So I still have to close in the front of both sides. So I think I'll play around with that a bit and see what I'm going to do there. But this side went up really, really quick. And my thought is that I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to use every single bay for a door to get in here. So I'll probably skip the first one, put a door here, skip the second one, put a door here, skip the third one, put a door there, and then that'll be it. So there'll be 3 doors on each side. That'll allow me to get some storage in there, and probably, I mean, basically, right, if I've got this one and this one, I'll have more than enough room for all the clothes that I need to put in here. And then everything else would be like winter boot storage, that kind of stuff. But it closes everything off nicely, and it makes it perfect size on the bottom here for the carpet that I'm going to get next week. So I still have more stuff to do, but I'm happy with how this turned out. Very happy with how this turned out. Heater went out. Where'd my heater go out? Can't have that. Oh, goodness. Just walked outside. I was going to go in the trailer and cook breakfast, and it's colder in the trailer than it is in the cabin. And my temperature gauge says it's 8 below 0. Tad bit chilly. Oh. So I walked in there, grabbed some bacon, some sourdough, and a couple of fresh eggs from the chickens. Oh, goodness. All right. It was still chilly last night. A lot of that, I think, is due to the fact that I still have a few areas I need to seal better, like around the door. That doorknob's got an undersized plate on it. It's a commercial hole through there for a commercial doorknob, so I'll have to get a bigger plate to cover that up because it's all icy. I'll show you that in a second. From where all the moisture was freezing as it touched it, the windows have some ice on it, but I don't have a lot of, I guess what you'd call thermal mass in here yet. I don't have a lot of stuff that will warm up and hold the heat and then slowly release the heat as it cools down during the night. Well, man, no insulation in the floor, obviously. But my goodness, I slept pretty good last night. Holy smokes. Sunday morning, got a couple of more things I want to get done today. But I'm going to eat something here first. A little bacon and eggs and toast. Sound pretty delicious. Yep, that's ice. A tad chilly. A little bit of ice on the floor as well. And then there was some ice on the window too. As far as the power draw on these lights, yesterday when I went to charge up the battery while I was running the generator, I just charged the battery. And it said that the battery was at 64%. And I had been using the lights pretty extensively the day before, and I'm using them pretty heavy right now because I want to get an idea for where the actual usage of power from these lights is. And then, mind you, I'm not using a real, per se, off-grid battery. I'm just using an Optima gel cell and it's 50 amp hours. I have two of them, but I couldn't get the other one to charge yesterday. It kept saying bad battery. It's actually newer than this one. So I don't know what the deal is. I'll probably take that over to Brother Will's house and put it on the traditional battery charger and see if it makes any difference. But yeah, I mean, I could deal with that. I could run the lights in here for a couple of days. Not have any problem at all. It's not like I'm not firing the generator up anyway, right? Just to keep working around here to run tools and stuff like that, and then charge up my other electronics that I have to. I did finish off one of these little propane tanks last night, which is pretty good because I've had it in here for what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks? Yeah, shoot, probably longer than that, 4 weeks. I've been in here making tea and stuff since the first night I spent in the cabin. But I'm going to save these bottles because Todd across the street has the way to refill these things back up. So that way I don't have to keep paying for them like they're expensive. Shoot, they're really expensive. Now if I can just get that toast to get done quick enough while this is still warm. Oh. Nice. So the last thing I want to do for sure this weekend is install these. I've got two of them, and while they're pretty rigid, they're also flexible enough or thin enough for me to be able to bend, I think, I hope. And my plan is, let me go up here to the top, so that roughly half of it is screwed onto the ladder, and then I'm going to bend it so that the other half goes down behind this and catches on there, and I'll go ahead and groove this out so that'll work. So I've got quite a few screw points that I can make work here till I get to the middle, or I should just mark it on the middle of where it's going to be. And I'm going to have one on each one of these rails, and that's going to stop this, right? This kind of stuff, because it'll be latched in there. And then the viewers from last week's video all had a bunch of different great ideas and comments. One of the questions that kept coming up was, you know, why not do it like a library ladder? Because technically this is a ship's ladder. So why not do it like a library ladder where it has wheels and it rolls? Because I have a plan for what I want to do to the front of this, and I don't know if that's going to work. So first I need to do what I want to do to the front of this, and then we'll see if I can't still do that. But I had originally thought about that. And the other thing was, temporarily, I could just put a block pretty tight on each side, right? So that this can't happen. And somebody even suggested do the block on each side and then do a block in the middle too. Then you won't get any movement at all. It just kind of gets right where it's going to go, and boom, it stays there. And I like that, so I'll probably do that today as well. So I'm going to get busy on that right now. And the temperature downstairs on the floor is 42.6 degrees, and the temperature upstairs in the loft right now, I don't know where I have that temperature gauge at. I thought it was in the window. Oh, duh. This is the temperature gauge. 54.3 degrees right here on the decking, and God, that sun is coming through there, and it is gorgeous. Let me spin the camera around. I'll show you how much sunlight's coming into the cabin right now. Look at how bright that is, huh? Holy smokes. That's a ton of natural sunlight right there. Just through those two little windows up top. go. That'll work. That'll do. That'll do. And these aren't going to be screwed in. They're just going to kind of hang in there and stop that back and or that front to back motion. Should be strong enough. We'll see. So these look like they're in a bit more than these, but remember that I'm going to angle this, so that's going to change it. And these are still flexible. The main thing is just to stop any sudden pull. And if this works out, I'll probably actually go to a local metal guy and have him give me some heavier gauge metal that won't bend as easily. But like I said, it's pretty secure. This is just to stop a lot of the initial flip-flop. You shouldn't be hanging off of here anyway. Okay. Set that thing. A little too far. Nice. Yeah, that stops any rocking back like this. I mean, sure, it's got a little bit of give, but not much at all. And that'll work out good because it'll end up going over the carpet that I'm going to have installed here. Then I'll just cut a groove in the carpet as well. Cool. All right, let me see what I can figure out for the front here. Much easier than I thought it was going to be. All right, that's the last part that I had to do, was get those nailer boards on the outside, and the reason why they're there is so that I can continue the siding. It's probably going to be, I'm really thinking it's going to be knotty pine for that whole section there. And I did the same thing over on this side, and that's just so that you can nail the boards across and you have nailers on both sides. So that's why I had to get that on there. The rest of it's pretty good, but I'm very happy with how that turned out. See if I can get a good backup picture. Right, look at plenty of room still upstairs. A ton of room on both sides of that bed, and that's a king size bed. I like it. Oh, it's a tad chilly out right now. 9 below zero and then 61 degrees at the ceiling. So it was a chilly, chilly night. but there's northern lights out. So I got about a half an hour before I have to actually head into work. So I'm going to get a couple of pictures, and then I'm going to drive in a little bit and get some more pictures. And hopefully I'll have some nice pictures for you when this is done. But yeah, it was epic last night, I guess. Just exploded as soon as it got dark, and it's one of the greatest nights for it so far this year. I love it. I love it. So let's check some of those out real quick. Got a couple. I think they're going to be pretty awesome. But I've got like an extra 15 minutes or so this morning, so we'll stop off and see if we can't get any pictures. And this is going to be, it doesn't matter how epic they are the next couple of nights, because we've got snow moving in, which means we'll have clouds moving in, which means we won't be able to see it. So I love it. It's just one of those gifts, or hey, you know, I know it's super cold out, but here, look at this. This is pretty. I love it. I love it. So I think I got some good shots. We'll find out here in a second when I put the video together. God, it was pretty epic coming into town. I'm only going to be about 5 minutes late, which is really, really awesome. That's what happens when I left a half an hour early. Just crazy. Still trying to figure out how to use the camera, this camera, the cell phone camera, to take quality pictures of the northern lights, but they're beautiful. God, they're gorgeous. My original design for the cabin had like a cupola on the top of it, just so I could sit up there and watch the northern lights, but I couldn't figure out how to engineer it. So that didn't happen. But man, it's beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. All right, I'm pulling into work. I need to get started. I hope you guys have a fantastic day and enjoy the rest of this video.